What makes Egypt's position as a mediator to reach a ceasefire unique in this context compared to other regional or international actors?
Good evening, Selma, and thank you for having me. We can say that the vital role of Egypt in the Gaza crisis reflected in two parallel tracks. The first track was a political and a diplomatical one. Egypt tried from day one of the crisis to mediate between the Palestinians and the Israelis in order to reach an agreement for ceasefire and reconstruction, humanitarian assistance into Gaza, and then resume the diplomatic negotiations in order to reach a Palestinian state on the 1967 borders, and the capital city is Eastern Jerusalem. This is the diplomatic and the political track. The other track was humanitarian one. Egypt from day one was keen on reflecting all and delivering all the humanitarian assistance into Gaza Strip again across Rafah crossing point. And all the time, Egypt delivered tons, hundreds of tons of assistance, medical and food into Gaza Strip from Egypt and from the outside world. So I think through the humanitarian and the diplomatic mediation, Egypt played a vital role in order to reduce escalation in Gaza and putting an end to this dilemma.
Yeah, so in terms of humanitarian aid, that's what I would like to build upon. Egypt has been one of the main channels for delivering supplies to Gaza, like you've mentioned. How effective has this aid been in alleviating the dire conditions in the region?
Sure, it played a very significant role in that sense, but the crisis was bigger than all the efforts of the international community and the Egyptian role. That's because Israel, as you know, practiced war crimes, and all the time they used their power in order to eliminate Gaza Strip inhabitants, because Netanyahu is trying to delete the idea of the Palestinian state. So he used his military power in order to put an end to this dream. But Egypt, in the same time, tries all the time to revive this choice for the Palestinians and for the international community, because there is a doctrine in the Egyptian strategic thinking that the Palestinian issue is the root of all evils in Middle East and the entire world. So people will never feel peace either in Israel or in the Arab territory without the Palestinian state. So all the time Egypt was concentrating on the humanitarian assistance, in the same time putting the pressures on the UN and the Arab League and also the Israeli side to resume negotiations for the Palestinian state.
Now, let's examine the obstacles. What obstacles is Egypt facing in ensuring that aid reaches Gazans, and how has the international community responded to these challenges from your point of view?
The greatest obstacle that was all the time the Israelis. All the time they insisted on closing the Palestinian side of Rafah crossing point. And also, don't forget the very bad rule of the settlement inhabitants. They all the time try to deteriorate the assistance and the humanitarian efforts of Egypt and the entire world. They try to use starvation as a weapon in the war, which is condemned by the United Nations and the International Food Program. All the time, the Israelis insisted on using starvation as a weapon. Egypt all the time insisted on stop this strategy of the Israelis through use Al Arish airport in order to receive the humanitarian assistance from the entire world, and also try to create solutions to the barriers and the borders escalation from the Israelis.